My people, I know it's a rarity, but this is your second video of the day. We are within to pay tribute to a player that's set to leave and join Everton by tomorrow, by tonight, whenever it may be. It's a here we go from Fabrizio for Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall to join the Toffees. And I look back. I look back in the history of Chelsea or the time that I've been a Chelsea fan. I remember players like Thiago Mendes. You know, that one season where Thiago Mendes had that understanding of being a rotation player, but heavily impactful. I remember Alex. You know, that's a defender, but it's a different role. You know, these are different roles, but the understanding of the player, because every player at this level wants to play every single game. But to be that player in the locker room that understands, you know, I'm not a first choice player. I will get my opportunities, if not in the main competitions, maybe in the other competitions. And that has been Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. KDH. You know, I go back to the beginning of last season and Maresca's arriving. Maresca's arriving with a player he worked with so much at Leicester. So my assumption was Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall has to be a mainstay in Maresca's 11. You know, of course, at that time, Cole Palmer is still a right wing. Also, Christopher Nkunku hadn't played under Poch. He was injured for the most of that season. So I was assuming Nkunku's integration, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall's integration, they would form a partnership. At Leicester, I remember Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall would invert into the left half spaces, into the left wing role alongside Mavididi, and he would be so impactful in what Maresca was trying to do. He was a cam slash left wing of sorts, left mid, if anything. And then at Chelsea, he was brought in and Maresca played him more on the right side of things. You know, right wing vibes, right mid, drifting that side, being in the middle most of the time. So a totally different way of being utilized by Maresca. Same manager, same player, both from Leicester, success in winning the championship, having Leicester promoted to the Premier League. Maresca arrives, you know, bigger job, you could say, no disrespect to Leicester. Bigger challenge for Maresca, more quality players to work with, and Dewsbury-Hall became a rotation player that played most of his minutes in the Conference League. In total last season, as per Transfer Market, Chelsea played a total of 64 games, inclusive of the Club World Cup games, all 7 games. 64 games, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall made 36 appearances. That's closer to half of the games. So majority of the time, the boy was on the bench, or the man himself was on the bench. Soon to be 27-year-old in September. He's a 26-year-old. If anything, in this squad, he's more of a senior player. And Chelsea don't really deal in those regards. Tosin will remain the oldest player alongside Sanchez, Cucurella, with the departure of KDH. So KDH joining Everton, I would like to say that's a brilliant acquisition by David Moyes. I see him as a mainstay starter alongside Idrissa Gana Gueye and Ghana. And, you know, I feel that midfield three could actually be highly effective in a David Moyes system. And Dewsbury-Hall has an eye for goal. We saw this. You know, as Chelsea fans, at some point we were slandering him, saying he's just not Chelsea level. He would come on, not be able to impact the game, but he hasn't had a run of games. He never had a run of games to gel into the squad, but he was always giving 110% every time he stepped on the pitch. So this is a tribute, if anything, to a player that it's just one season, but you don't easily forget the impact. I'm so happy he scored at the Club World Cup. I'm so happy he scored clutch goals in the Conference League on our way to the trophy. I'm happy he won trophies at Chelsea. That's the sort of player that deserves it. A player with the maturity, but the effectiveness alongside it. You know, to understand, I mean, a team that on average is really young, but I'm going to give my best. You know, the quality of our midfield, those players are all younger than KDH. Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, Cole Palmer. Those are young players, all below 25. So, shout out to KDH. I enjoyed him at Chelsea. And I wish he could have gotten just a bit more time on the pitch to show us what he can do. But regardless, he leaves a happy man, I believe, and he leaves a world champion. So, well on your way, KDH. Blessings for tuning in, guys. Be sure to join the fam if you're yet to do so. I'm hoping the next time you see me, it's Javi Simmons. Here we go. That's all we need now. You get me? We've worked on departures. We've discussed departures today at length. So let's see other things now. Let's welcome some people. I know it sounds gluttonous from a Chelsea fan because we've signed so many, but we're going for everything next season. So we're not here to mess about. You get me? Blessings, my people.